Okay, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Dynamics Edition. I actually decided to be a little classy this time around. I really like this music, so I thought I'd let it come up. Make sure you get the respond rate to 8, and we're going to go ahead and hit continue here. And just to make sure I've got the right game loaded, because I have a few different save states, different things. Okay, cool, we got the right game. So we're going to head out onto the high seas again. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill these guys. However, X I don't trust to be able to do that. So Kaizoku, they're actually a pretty rare occurrence. Some people call it a bug, others say, hey, it's part of the game, go ahead and take advantage of it. It seems whenever you load from any inn and then hop in the ship, your next battle is going to be with Kaizokus. They give 120 gold each, so it's actually not too shabby of an amount. Actually, I'm going to back up here a little bit. I want to mix up who's attacking what. And there we go, throw a lid over here. I guess I accidentally attacked instead of casting a spell with X before. And there we go. And they don't have a whole lot of hit points, but I still have a bit weaker weapons, so that's one reason that the guys aren't really doing a whole lot of damage there. But I think we're doing well enough. Like, they're not doing a lot to me, so, you know, I'm fine with just kind of keeping things going here. Sorry if there's any... I can't hear myself with how I have things set up here, so sorry if there's any kind of like noise coming over the mic. I've got a fan in my room because it's a little hot right now in here. And I think I figured out how to speed up the videos, or not so much that, but what I had planned to do is if I did speed up a video because I was just was grinding a bit and stuff, but still wanted to show my progress. I discovered, how basically I can fit the video to the music. So as you saw there, we got a pretty decent chunk of change. So now we're up over 600 gold. That's going to help out a lot, especially because spells start to get expensive. Now, I'm actually not going to grind a whole lot right now. Because one big thing is once we get to a certain point, it kind of opens up being able to get to a lot of treasure chests, and so we can get like a bunch of money from there. And so I'd rather do that than... Oh wait, I didn't attack with X. I didn't notice that he has more spell charges now. Because so does Undine. And I was like, how's she have more than them? Sorry. So I'm going to grind a little bit because there's going to be a couple of spells that I'm really going to want. I want to get up a little bit higher level. That way X and possibly Undine as well can get a level 3 spell that'll really help out with where we're going to be heading to next. So that's kind of like my main goal there. But so there will be a little bit of grinding, but like I said, I figured out how I can essentially kind of match it up to music and then fit the video to the music. And so that's something that I think I'll be able to take advantage of to speed it up. There might be a way to just speed up the video, but if I do that, I'm going to play some cool music. I mean, why not? Along with that, I've actually thought up a new nifty little project. I'll be running it alongside all of this. Won't reveal it until I'm done, though. It's going to be kind of fun. I've already got it started, and I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. So let's see. We were told in Coneria before that to the south... Wait, no, sorry, that was in Provoca. We were told by somebody that in the south there's... Oh, crap. There's trouble with the Elven Prince. And so that's where we're headed now, but we do not want to fight these guys. They hit way too hard. Okay, we're going to come in here, and we're just going to scout around the town. So this guy tells us to save his prince. We're going to duck into the weapon shop real quickie and see what we've got. So we've got a couple of things here. I think I might actually get the saber. it's a decent enough weapon, not a huge upgrade. If I had a thief, I would have gotten the scimitar. Of course, it's the scimitar, but I call it the scimitar. Up in Provoca, but I think I'm going to be getting sabers here. And let me do the math real quick here, because I want to make sure I'm able to stay at the inn. I used up some of my magic, and like I said, some of the enemies around here hit a little bit harder, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to get that large knife for X. That's 550. Okay, so I'd still have enough money, but before we actually buy anything, come over here. So here's the clinic. It's now this was actually kind of funny because there was I don't know if it was controversy necessarily, but Darth tried to say that this clinic's larger than the one in Provoca, when Provoca's actually technically 2 tiles larger, because those 2 missing corners on the top make it look bigger, but it's actually not. Kind of just a little funny thing. Now here is where we have some really kind of neat stuff. So we've got the cap, which is good. Basically, that adds some additional defense. It's a new slot, so this wasn't available before anywhere else. And you know what? I'm actually gonna get this for X and Guy, because them being able to survive is a little bit more important than getting those new weapons, at least right now, in my opinion. I think I mentioned before the whole thing about, best defense is a good offense and just kill everything. In some instances, it's best to spend a little bit of money to get a little bit more defense. I'm also gonna buy a wooden helmet for Max, and we'll get an iron shield too. So I kind of forgot that was going to be in this town right here. So yeah, weapons are the same. Yeah, I know you can't do that one. I'm going to bring that. Okay, I didn't think so. So we're going to do this. I'm like really particular with the order that things are in here. So this will kind of correct itself. The shield's going to move over here as soon as I back out. And now you can see Max is a 22 absorber food, so we went from 17 when he had just the armor and the wooden shield. And these two had an absorb of 2 before we got them the caps, and now they got a 3. So they're slowly creeping up there. If we can get that copper bracelet, which as you saw was 1,000 gold, so that's going to take a little while to get to. And I'm going to sell that wooden shield back since no one else can use it. So it's take a little while to get that 1,000 gold, but that'll give another 3 absorb to the mages, because basically it's a magic. I like to think that it's a magical bracelet, and because it's just a bracelet, so I don't really know how it would add armor otherwise. And so it adds, so the mages can use that, and it gives them a little bit more absorb. Now Undine, I'm not going to get that for her because she's able to wear that chain armor, which is a lot better. Okay, so this guy tells us that the Dark Elf will dominate, or the power of the Dark Elf will dominate if the prince doesn't wake soon. And Astos wears a disguise and lurks in seclusion, so I guess we might need to watch out for him. Long ago, I wandered to the northwest, found an ancient castle. It was so spooky he left immediately. Just watch out for that. And there's some magic shops here. I'm not going to duck into them just yet. This guy tells us that silver equipment is better. The prince must wake soon. The Dark Elf will dominate. Wait, that guy. Oh, so this guy says the Dark Elf himself will dominate. The other guy says that his power will. Interesting. Okay, it's really not, but whatever. Yeah, if we saw... Let me talk to this. Over here. So this is one reason I like this is one thing I like about the running fast. I can get somewhere if I want to show you something a lot quicker. So the silver sword, that's going to be the really big upgrade. Like I said, I want to get that saber though, because that's going to be a pretty decent upgrade. use up one of these. And I think I'm actually going to venture outside in a moment. Alright, I already talked to that guy. So here's the level 3 magic. So if you notice, there are magic shops on the west side of town also. That's the level 4 magic. So Elfland actually has 2 things of magic in here. And, let's see. So we're in the black magic shop. So this is the stuff that I'm really wanting to get. So we got Fur 2, Lit 2, those are basically, you know, the upgraded versions. They do a little more damage than Fire and Lit. And you'll notice I call this Fur 2 because that's how it's spelled. But they hit all of the enemies. So that's a really big thing, especially because as we go through the game, we're just going to keep running into big groups of enemies. So we want to have stuff that can hit all of them. Hold just holds an enemy in place for a little bit. Lock 2 is actually bugged. So that original lock spell, I think I mentioned I corrected myself on what it does. That it lowers an enemy's evade. This actually increases the enemy's evade because it doesn't work properly. So definitely not getting that one. Fur 2 is probably going to be the first game or first level 3 spell that I buy for anybody here. Cure 2, that's pretty much a must-have. Just it heals more than Cure does. This is Harm 2, and so this one, it's like Harm, just does more damage to undead. A Fur is like A Lit, except for fire, so, you know, anti-fire is basically what that one is. Or anti-fur, it repels the fur off of animals. No, that's not what it does. And then Heal is basically, that's more like, it's on par with the original Cure, but it does it to everybody. So it heals a lower amount than Cure 2 does, but it heals everyone in the party. So that's actually kind of useful right there. So again, don't have the money to really get any of this stuff. Yeah, there's this guy here. He's supposed to become king of Elfland, but I guess he didn't because he was apparently put to sleep. Here lies Erdrick. So this is a little joke because this is back before Square Enix was a company. So, you know, there was Square. I think they weren't even Square Soft at this point. They're just Square. And then Enix was making the Dragon Warrior games. And Erdrick was the hero of Dragon Warrior 1. So this is just them making a little joke. Pretty much every other tomb in the game, if you do this, it just says that it's a tomb. And by pretty much, I mean like all of them. Okay, so now we'll dip over here, check out the level 4 magic. So you got the white magic again. So Pure is kind of a waste of money. Not to be rude, but 75 gold will buy you a Pure potion. So, you know, if we just do a little bit of math, you'd have to use 40 potions to spend 3,000 gold. 40 pure potions to spend 3,000 gold in the game. And then let's go with let's say another 10. So 50 pure potions, that puts you at 3,750 gold. That's probably not even going to use that many in the entire course of the game. Early on might run into it, but then we'll start getting some gear that has resistance to poison, and so this is just kind of a wasted spell slot. Fear has a chance to make enemies run away. A Ice, just like A Lit, A Fur. You know, just it adds resistance to ice. Amut, or A-Mute, anti-mute is what this one is. So you can actually, if somebody gets muted in your party, you can unmute them in battle. So say Undine, you know, somebody casts mute and then it mutes Undine, guy can cast A-Mute to remove it. So this is actually going to be the well, honestly, you don't really need it that much in this game because of FFD and, you know, Darth and Guy's enthusiasm. I'm totally going to be buying this first once I have enough money for 4th level spells for Guy, because Guy has to have Amut. In FFD, it actually kind of has transcended its original purpose. One thing is FSA did make it so that you can use it while muted. That's not something that's built into the Final Fantasy simulator. And hang on. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I had to reply to this message real quick. So you get like I said, in that game you can actually do it while muted, which adds a nice little layer to it. Because I mean, especially in some circumstances, you're going to be in a place where maybe like you're in a party of all red mages, and or 2 red mages, a white mage, and a black mage, are running around in a Final Fantasy dynamics, and then everybody gets muted. The chances of that are not too good of happening, but it could happen. And so being able to cast it while muted helps. This one I think is single target. Again, I've never really actually used it in a game. I saw one opportunity where Darth could have used it in his Let's Drink series, and I think that's actually the first time I've ever seen a player get muted. Any character get muted ever playing. Sleep 2 is a little bit more powerful than Sleep. I think it has a little bit higher accuracy. In this, with how Sleep works, it's still not really all that effective. And so I don't really ever buy it. Fast. So I mentioned before how slow reduces your hits. Fast doubles them. So if you, or it removes slow. So if, so we were talking about Max before. It has 1 hit, does 20 damage. When he gets 2 hits and say he's doing the same damage, and then he can get 2 hits for 40. Well, with Fast, he can get 4 hits, so he could do a total of 80 damage. Now, again, that won't necessarily guarantee the damage increases there, but just kind of trying to give some basic number examples to give you an idea how it works. Confuse is one that it's not really that great, but basically this is actually one of the few spells, now that I realize it, that I actually kind of pronounce, as well as Sleep 2, because there's no vowel, so you gotta pronounce something. So I'd say Sleep 2 there, but Sleep is Slep. Just kind of funny. Because this is one of the very few spells where I'll actually say the name, because Confuse is just, it's easier to say than Conf. And then people probably wouldn't be able to understand the word I'm saying. It's bugged in the game in that, or not necessarily bugged, but like if you hit a target with it, they'll attack randomly another enemy. But all they do is, the way it's programmed, all they actually do is cast the fire spell. So it's better to just lay damage on the thing and try to kill it fast. Basically. Ice 2, that actually, similar to Ice, it has a little bit higher base damage than Fur 2 and Lit 2. But otherwise, like them, it's a hit all, target all enemy spell. So that actually I might get that one before Fast, but definitely Undine and Undine and X are going to be getting that. There isn't really anything at 4th level that's good for Undine, in my opinion. Amut, I'm honestly just going to be getting it for Guy for kicks. And then something else I've kind of passed up on, so I've mentioned how Amut's different. Pure was actually changed to Esna, or Esuna, as it is in the later Final Fantasy games, but E-S-N-A. And what that does is it, because Pure really was kind of crappy. I mean, like, you can buy Pure potions for a lot less, and everything, so Esna actually cures any status. So if somebody gets turned to stone, which that's something else that's not fun, that will come up later. So if somebody got turned to stone, you can cast Esna on them. If you get poisoned, you can cast that on them. If they get stunned and paralyzed in the middle of a battle, like how those big eyes had stunned somebody, then you can cast Esna and it would cure the paralyzed status. So all things like that, which are just kind of handy. Here we have a little bit more stuff. So we got the Heal Pure. No longer have tents available here, but we do have the cabin still. The house, they are a little bit expensive, but with these they actually regen your magic as well. The big thing with those is if you're not using, like what I would normally do is if I'm trying to do a real, like pure run, where I you know, I don't abuse save states. So like, oh no, I just died. I'll reload that save state back a couple of fights, and then just, you know, get into a different fight or leave the dungeon or whatever. You know, which I did that like my first time playing on an emulator. I decided, yeah, you know, that's cheating, really. But so what I would actually do is I would use a house and then save state if I had to leave the game. If you're not wanting to use save states at all, though, then this is the way to go. You use the house, but there is a bug there where it asks if you want to recharge your magic. So it heals you up, and then it saves the game, and then it recharges your magic. So it kind of does it in the wrong order, and so if you just leave right after that, you know, if you just hold the reset and power off, you actually don't get your magic back, and you'd have to use another house. So what a lot of people will do, or what they recommend doing, is if you have to save with a house out in the wild, make sure you have a tent with you as well. So you use the house and then use the tent afterwards to save, because the tent will just save you then right after with your magic. Soft potion, that cures stone. So if you get turned to stone, you can just drink one of those. There's actually a soft spell later on in the game. It's another one of those, you know, if you play it safe, you should usually get out of a fight before you get to it. You should usually get out of a fight before, you know, everybody gets turned to stone. And if you just have a handful of those potions, if someone does, you can just unstone them, hopefully. So I'm actually going to wrap this one up here for today. Didn't have as much time, need to go, you know, get dinner and stuff, but I just wanted to sneak this in, let you know I've got a little surprise coming for later on, once I finish this whole thing. And want to just, you know, touch down in Elfland and go over stuff. So as you notice, it's a little bit more expensive here. It's doing from 30 to 50 to 100 gold. And don't forget, if you leave your game, hold reset while you turn power off. And we're just gonna come over here, have Max wave goodbye again, and just want to say we will see you next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy Dynamics Edition. Peace out.